Hi, my name is Joe Wright, and welcome to our second episode of Paraforensic News. I'm joined here in the studio by Chris Wright, our tech manager. Chris?
Hey, how are you? I am the tech manager for PSI. I handle all the equipment and odds and ends stuff.
In this episode, we're going to be spotlighting the Griffin House. Now, the Griffin House was a fantastic location for our investigation. It was located right in Main Street in Forest City, North Carolina. In the Griffin House, during our investigation, we found quite a number of unusual activity.
The first thing we found was an audio recorder we placed in the kitchen, which the kitchen was just like a basic old kitchen. We placed it on the counter, like so, and we took pictures of it like normal. We take pictures of everything we place in areas, so if it does get moved, we know. And come back a few minutes later, it was cut off and it was moved.
Aligning that recorder with the crack, immediately our investigators noticed that the movement had occurred. It was just one of the coolest things in the world. Now, just because something moves, you can't automatically say it's the ghost of Mr. Griffin, but it did make for a fantastic story. Next, we moved to the upstairs area where we started getting high radio frequency readings.
Yes, we went upstairs and we was checking around, and we went into the daughter's room. We was having some strange occurrences with our RF detector around the vanity. We was using a mobile device or a RF frequency detector which determines radio frequencies that a private eye uses to detect bugs. We used that in all sorts of things. We use it in checking, make sure the homeowners are not trying to pull the veil over our face. I'm not saying that all homeowners are doing that, but just in case, we want to know.
That's a great device. It not only lets you know if someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes, as Chris said, but it also makes sure that there are no electrical devices that can cloud your readings. The worst thing you can do is assume something to be paranormal when you can explain it away as man-made.
The next thing, we had a ball of light which actually formed over my head. I went up to upstairs area and I was going to tell the investigator Sparky something and give him a piece of equipment he asked for. So I went up there and I felt real uneasy, like I wasn't supposed to be there, like I was in someone else's area. I gave what I was supposed to give to Sparky and told him what I was supposed to tell him and backed off to the landing. And in this piece of video you're watching here, I'm standing there kind of stooped over the handrail, and then you see over my head a ball of light forms and goes away. Now if you know anything about flashlights don't fade in and out. Flashlights turn on and off. This thing fade in and then fade out. It was very strange. I didn't think it was paranormal. I just thought because it was a different house, I didn't feel comfortable in the house or something. But it was very unusual.
And just like other paranormal activity, you don't see these things until you're going over the footage. Even though you're having a personal experience, you don't know what triggers it. So that made for interesting video footage. We took a break. Now that's nothing unusual. We take breaks all the time. You can't perform a paranormal investigation without taking a few breaks. If you're fatigued, you're liable to see something that's not really there. While standing outside, something really cool happened. We were listening to a story that another investigator had been telling us, and then all of a sudden, the back door drifted open.
I'm going to tell you the truth. For a second there, my heart dropped into my boot. I mean, I wasn't scared, but that's very unusual that would happen. You're just standing there calm, taking a break, shooting a bull, and all of a sudden the back door just creaks open.
So many interesting things happened at the Griffin House that we can't go over all of them in the short time that we have. So, real quickly, we're going to let you listen to some of the audio clips that were captured and get your opinion. The first audio clip here appears to be the sound of a man saying, It's Our House in a raspy voice. So just take a quick listen and see what you think.
That's a very unusual piece. It does sound. We didn't do any audio fixing or any boosting or anything. It was actually on the audio recorder as the way you hear it.
This next audio clip you're going to hear appears to be an older woman saying, "Get out." Now that's not something that you want to hear on a daily basis. We did not hear it at all when we were doing the recording or doing the investigation. It appeared later on the audio. So take a quick listen and see what you think it is. Freaky, huh? Alright, this one's going to blow your socks off. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, everything was quiet. You can barely hear the investigators in the far background. There are no items in this house that will make this specific sound. When we got to do the investigation, there was just a couple of objects in each of the bedrooms and no electronic devices other than our equipment. And we know for sure that this did not come from any of our equipment. So take a quick listen and see what you think of this.
It's weird, ain't it? It sounds like an older, like 1920s music to me. But who knows what it is? It's nothing we made.
Many people have said a Victrola. Now, we know for sure there were no Victrolas inside that house. So, it stands as something paranormal, something that we can't explain at this point. If anyone has a explanation, like I said, you can contact us at our website. The website is www.paranormalsceneinvestigators.com. Visit as much as you want, give your opinion, and who knows, you might come up with an explanation for these things.
We are willing to take any explanation you have. We're not saying our word is final. Other people might see it a different way, and if it makes sense, we'll believe it.
So, for PSI Paraforensic News, I'm your host, Joe Wright.
And I'm the special guest host, Chris Wright.
And we'd like to give everyone a great North Carolina salute.
Salute.
Have a nice day.